Speak to the competitiveness and the way you guys kept answering the bell down the stretch against the defending champs.
It was a competitive game. Felt like both teams just kept doing enough to not be put away and kept doing enough to let the other team know they were trying to pull away. It got to the point probably sometime at the end of that fourth quarter, it just felt like it was a war of wills. And there was a level of mental toughness that was exuded by both teams. And almost sometimes, like in football, they say it's just at some point the time runs out. It felt like everybody kept scoring. But the bench was great for us. We needed every second from everybody that played. And then those five guys, I don't know what it is, one of you probably do, but they played maybe the last 15 or so odd game time minutes. And their legs got wobbly, but they composed themselves and finished strong. And that was a heck of a game to be a part of.
And then by this point, are you at all, I suppose you're not surprised anymore about the way Victor is able to rise to these moments as they come along in his career. Just every big moment, he seems to rise to that occasion and meet the moment.
I thought his level of physicality and execution through physicality was tremendous. His rebounding obviously shows itself in the box score, but was off the charts defensively. He was in a stance almost all night. And I thought he did a good job of, and the guys along with him, just being stubborn in terms of they made some shots, and they did, obviously, you got to give up something when you try to take things away. And at times when they made shots or they made us pay for whatever we were trying to do, we stuck with it. And he led the way. I mean, that's 49 big minutes, and it was high level for the majority of those.
What was the key defensively against SGA? It seems like a lot of different guys took turns on him.
Yeah, we try to keep guys fresh on him and just make it hard for him. I mean, he's so dynamic at spots. One of the best I've ever seen in terms of angles and being able to take up space and use your physicality against you in terms of leverage. I thought we did a good job of trying to contest without fouling and make him take tough shots. And he's going to make shots, and sometimes he misses shots. You may not have anything to do with it, but you just try to make them work.
Mitch, I'm glad to see your voice has survived 2 overtime somehow. There's a lot of fans from around the world that are going to start watching at this point. A lot of them have maybe seen clips of Victor, but haven't really sat down to watch a game with him. Can you explain for a lot of those people the essence of what made him so special tonight?
I think that young man he has a rare desire to step into every moment that's in front of him. And I think he has showed in his 3 years in a lot of different situations with a lot of different circumstances that he's going to attack those moments. Doesn't mean they'll always work out for him or be exactly the outcome that he wants, but he has some rare God-given ability. He puts in even more work and preparation into try to maximizing that. And his disposition and mentality and approach is reflected at times in the way he handles those moments.
Mitch, the list of rookies to start in the Western Conference Finals is short. The list of rookies to have their first playoff start in the Western Conference Finals is even shorter. What did you make of Dylan's poise tonight and his just aggression overall against one of the best perimeter defensive teams in the league?
I thought it was phenomenal. I thought he was even better defensively. I think the list of guys, if you want to say how good they were, is probably even shorter, and he's on that list. And it's just been very rewarding for someone that's tried to support him through this year and help him in terms of coaching him at times and giving him guidance of just trusting us, because he was this good 8 months ago, but we wanted him to get some corporate knowledge and learn the program and the fundamentals of this league and how tough it was and to get in better shape and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And he watched a lot of guys in terms of his rookie class put up bigger numbers than him, and there's a lot of talk around that, and they deserve that because they had good years, but that young man is everything that everybody's seen right now.
Coach,
we've asked
about the... Oh, sorry.
We've asked you several times about just you and the guys both about just watching Victor do Victor things and whether it gets old, if you still find yourself in awe. In regards to Dylan, do you find yourself, standing there just impressed with the way he can get to the rim at will and just all the things that he's done in the playoffs specifically?
Yes, I think that he has shown poise and composure beyond his years. When you talk about whether it's the age of Steph, Dylan, and Victor, and you can throw Carter in that mix, or the experience of the other guys that haven't been in these moments. And we've said it all year, and it doesn't, again, mean that it's always going to work out, but these guys are looking forward to the moments to step into, and it's just really fun to see how together they are and how they attack it.
Coach, not to beat a dead horse about the moments, but specifically with Victor there, 30 seconds to go, and you guys are down 3, need a bucket. He hasn't taken many jump shots all game, but he steps into that moment and pulls from 30, 35 feet. I mean, what did you just see from him in that moment? And again, just what was your reaction to that kind of play?
They weren't organized, and we've had a few of these recently where we've gone without a timeout, and we've missed some really good shots. And it was just another one of those moments where I felt like we may have had, if it wasn't even an advantage, some momentum where they weren't bodies on bodies. And this league's about the players, and he's a really good one. He stepped up and answered the bell.
Mitch, Vic had laid out his case for MVP in the final weeks of the season. We all know that. As if being in the conference finals isn't inspiring enough probably for him, do you think it was worth a little extra seeing the trophy that he wanted be handed to someone else tonight? Do you think that?
100%. He's competitive. To see the other competitor get the trophy that he deserves, got voted the winner. But if you're a competitor and you see another competitor get rewarded with what you want, I don't think it had any effect on the game. That didn't make him play harder than anyone else. But if that's motivation, we all get motivated by different things. And yeah, I don't want to speak for him, but I would assume as a competitive person, that would be my approach or perspective in terms of answering that question.
And there were a couple of times tonight, Steph would have a turnover, something would go sideways, and Vic would be the guy putting the hand on the top of the head. And I know he's done that at times, but to be 22 and have all the world's eyeballs on him and be a leader of guys at that age, is that maybe the underrated part of his game that we don't talk about enough, the fact that he's also picking guys up when they need it?
I think it's been a big part of his growth this year. I think that was one of the things at the start of the season that he was convicted about, in terms of there's no perfect time to be a leader. There's no perfect time where you walk into some of these roles or spaces that he wants to as a player and as a person in this league. And I think he has grown tremendously in that throughout the season and finding his voice and his moments in his own way.
Before the game, you mentioned the importance of De'Aaron Fox. Can you talk about, in a game like tonight, just his veteran voice alone and how it helps carry you guys to this win?
Yeah, he was great on the bench. He was continually giving guys direction and talking to the players that were in the game. And again, when you have someone who's used to playing with these guys and in the fight, to have that perspective is really helpful.
I feel like it was a great effort.